So I can actually start talking, and I would like to talk about a little bit about wind farm and how to make it actually wind farm a successful project. Wind power is now very popular and very important. And some people believe that this wind energy or using wind energy for electricity generation is now a success story. And this is actually, there are many evidences from international organization report saying that the installed capacity or the use of sort of wind energy has increased very rapidly, has grown actually very rapidly, but from, say, for example, from 6 gigawatt in 1996 to 650 gigawatt in 2019. And this has been actually shown by the what's that, the organization of Global Wind Energy Council, that shows that how a fast growing technology for electricity generation has been this wind power. And there are actually some countries that are more active than the others. And for example, China is very active. In the past few years, Germany and the United States, they were two countries on the top of the list of using power, but now China is on the top of the list, and they have actually installed a lot of new wind farms. And I have to mention here, I think that China has gone very fast. The reason for that is I have read some report from international organization that some of the wind farm, some of the project, they are not operational because they have been very fast in construction, but they have been not actually fast enough to upgrade the electricity network to be able to absorb electricity from wind power. That is just a comment I have heard from one of the international organizations, but I'm sure probably they will fix this issue. And these are actually the top countries that they are very active in using wind energy. And it's a very, when we look at the price, and comparing the electricity price from wind power compared with the other actually technology is really cheap. It's really provided that the location site is carefully selected, and also there are a huge number of wind turbines available by different manufacturers, but it is important actually to find the most appropriate wind turbine for a selected site. And I want actually to draw your attention to this, and that choosing actually carefully the site and also suitable wind turbine is very important. And as an example, only 1% increase in wind speed expected 3% increase in energy generation, and also 1% increase in diameter or size of wind turbine will increase 2% energy production from wind farm or wind turbine. You can actually see how this actually important factor in choosing that. And math actually tell us that the power that the power in the wind is related to a couple of factors that I want actually to draw your attention to two of them, which are very important. One of them, speed of wind, and which is actually the power is proportional to Q factor of to power 3 of the wind speed, and also the area swept by wind turbine blades. That's actually, we will see very important. As an example, I want actually to show you this map of Australia just as an example, which actually shows which location, which part of country, and actually it's valid for any country, which part of country is more suitable for using for constructing, building wind farm. And as you can see here, that that the dark blue is, it says the annual average wind speed is about 10 or more than 10 meters per second, which is extremely good. And according to this equation, as you can see, if one wind turbine is installed a location with the, say, for example, 4 meters per second, and same wind turbine is actually installed where the wind speed is 8 meters per second, just twice, the amount of power will be increased by factor 8 because of this wind speed to power 3. And no surprise that, so again, example, Australia, why so all wind farms Australia are actually constructed near the location where the highest wind energy resources are available. It's just because to maximize the power, to increase the capacity factor of the wind turbine, and also make this electricity cheaper. And the other factor is the size, because again, the power in the wind is proportional to area which is pi r squared. That is why the wind turbine manufacturers they are making bigger and bigger and bigger, because they want to increase the area to maximize the power. And as I mentioned before, a huge number of wind turbines are available worldwide. You know, there are actually more than 40 large wind turbine manufacturers in Europe, in China, in USA, in US, in India, in Germany, everywhere. You know, there are actually more than 15 countries worldwide are very active in making wind turbines. But for someone who wants actually to invest in wind energy, wind farm, they want to know which one is suitable. You know, so many options, so many, wind turbine available, but which one is good? And so I want actually to share with you some of the factors that important for wind farm developer or investor, or anyone who is interested in that, is important in choosing the making a wind farm project successful. One of the weakness of wind power is its efficiency. It's very relatively low efficiency. Is it minimum is 24? Anything below that, forget it. You know, if wind farm is working as a efficiency under 20, it's the wrong place, wrong wind turbine. And the maximum theoretically is 50, but unfortunately is not reachable. And why is not reachable? Why efficiency is very clear? Because wind and air or wind is moving towards wind turbine, has a certain amount of the kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy is just because of the wind speed. And when air or wind is moving away from wind turbine, it still has some kinetic energy. So this is a wind turbine is not able to minimize the amount of energy that wind has when it is leaving wind turbine. So this is impossible for wind turbine to stop the wind after actually giving, or after wind turbine has recovered or the captured the energy. So this is what one of the reasons that efficiency is very low, and the maximum theoretical efficiency is 60% for this reason. So this is actually depends on the ratio of the wind speed of wind leaving moving away from wind turbine divided by speed of wind moving toward the wind turbine. So efficiency is, so these are actually the reason that the wind farm is considered as a low efficiency technology for electricity generation. But it has actually many other advantages that makes it popular, make it so popular and so economical to use it. And obviously, the new technology conversion of, another reason for low efficiency is because conversion of energy from wind energy into electricity, there are more than one steps. One step is conversion of energy, wind energy into mechanical power, and the second one is mechanical power into electrical power. But the second step is very efficient. These days, manufacturer of generator, they make very good, very high efficient generators to convert mechanical power into electric. And the other problem is the wind is not actually constant. The wind speed is not constant. This is what power companies hate to see that, because they don't like this one. But technology, this is actually not focus of my talk, but the technology is available to improve this weakness of wind power. Now, as an engineering point of view, now we would like to do the performance prediction, site selection, wind turbine selection. We'll have to do some engineering job. But what you can actually see in this figure, these blue bars, they are actually measured. It's like you can assume that this number of hours in one location in 1 year has been measured, that the wind speed has been 0 or 1 or 2. You can say in a city like Melbourne, in 1 year, the wind speed is measured from 0 to 25, and anything above 25 is not actually relevant, and no one is interested in that, because it's the speed of, it's about 90 kilometers per hour, which is very outside the interest of the manufacturer. So this actually blue bar, they show the number of hours that in one location that the wind speed has been, for example, at 5, 6, 7, 8 meters. And it is very close to something that this Swedish mathematician has actually said that offered or invented this equation, which has proportional, or is depends on many factors. But we are not interested from the wind power analysis. We are not interested in those factors. We try to find what is this most suitable one to that. To this, and look at this equation, and because of the factor here, this factor make different shape, different curve, and so on. As you can see, this actually for C equal to 8, but the reason I have chosen C equal to 8, because C equal to 8 is very close to realistic wind average, annual average wind speed of 7.1 meter per second annual average. So you can actually see with the shape will be different, but we are not interested in we are interested for our analysis the one which is very close to experimental one, which is actually this one. And as you can see, we can use this Swedish invention using this equation and make it. I don't need to explain how to get this one, But as you can see, this is the probability of wind speed depend on annual average of wind speed, any location. In Morocco, in Australia, in Europe, and you can actually guess or estimate the probability of any wind speed from 0 to 25. And as I said, the probability of very high wind speed is out of interest. And so depend on location. For example, I know that in Morocco is not a windy country. Some places they have very low wind speed, say five or a little bit more than 5 meters per second as annual average. This would be the probability. And when we move to a windier area, that wind speed is 7 or 9, or like in south of Australia, which is more than 9 meters per second. So the shape will be different, and the probability will be different. And then the probability multiplied by number of hours in 1 year, which is 8,706, gives you the number of hours in 1 year of any wind speed. This is very important for us as a renewable energy engineer, to do the analysis, to find what is the actual power from the wind turbine, and trying to play with the factor to maximize. One of the factors, one of the important things that is important from the researcher point of view, important from the investor point of view, or wind farm developer is capacity factor. Capacity factor is ratio of the ratio of the actual energy generated in 1 year by wind turbine or by wind farm divided by rated power. And I'll tell you something. This is the very confusing is wind power or the size of wind turbine. It's very confusing. When wind turbine says 2 megawatts, or wind turbine says the manufacturer says 1 megawatt, it doesn't mean that 2 megawatts wind turbine can generate more power than 1 megawatt wind turbine. So this is a little bit confusing, but we can actually try to find the best wind turbine for the best location. When you look at the wind specification of any wind turbine manufacturer or wind turbine model, they give you this curve. It doesn't matter if you visit the Vestas, Danish wind turbine manufacturer, or Chinese one, they say talk about this curve. They say actually not interested in very low wind speed, because wind speed is very low, and usually wind turbine doesn't operate because the cost of maintenance is more than energy that the wind turbine can produce. And there is another zone that wind speed is above 25 meters per second, that none of the wind turbine that I have actually checked can work above that, because it's very dangerous when damaging. So there will be one flat area and one area, curvish area, which is proportional to the wind speed of the to the power of 3 of wind speed. So in order to find the good or the reasonable or predict the reasonable capacity factor of wind turbine, we have to consider some of these. This actually figure here shows you that as I mentioned before, when we look at the specification of wind turbine, when it says 2 megawatts, 5 megawatts, or 3 megawatts, but the manufacturer, they say rated wind speed as well. It means when manufacturer says 2 megawatt, it means at rated wind speed of 14 meter per second, it means if wind speed is 14 meter per second, the wind turbine can generate is nominated or rated power. So now you can actually see that wind turbines, how the energy produced by wind turbine depends on its rated wind speed. So this is actually example of, I don't want to mention the manufacturer, but is one of the European manufacturer, making 2.5 megawatts for the average of wind speed of 8 meters per second. As you can actually see, the capacity factor is going down as the rated wind speed is increasing. And this one shows the similar thing in terms of cost. As you can actually, again, I have actually compared 4 different wind turbines of different size for a certain location with the 6 meter per second of annual average wind speed. As you can see, the wind turbine, which has a smaller wind power or a smaller rated power, can generate as much as power that much bigger wind turbine can produce. For example, the one on the right hand side, the rated power is 2.7 megawatts, and the one on the left hand side is just 1.5 megawatts. And you can see that the smaller one can generate as much as power in 1 year as the larger wind turbine can produce. And also the installation and the cost does dollar per kilowatt hours or cents per kilowatt hour, I have written here, and I don't want to confuse you. This is just installation. And wind turbine, when we want actually to do the cost analysis, life cycle cost analysis, and so on, we have to consider many different costs. But many different costs depends on many factors. How close is wind farm to the electricity network, how easy is to connect it, and how easy is the installation of that, or how much is the operation cost, maintenance cost. There are many costs that we as engineers need to consider when we want to do the cost analysis. But this is just the cost of product installation. It's just good, not the other cost. And as you can actually see, for this performance of the generation or the cost of wind turbine, when same wind turbine has been actually installed where the location has 7 meter per second, and also continue doing for 8. And as you can see, the generation, as you can actually see in here, this actually 1.5 megawatt wind turbine was very suitable for low wind speed, but now is not suitable for higher wind speed. So it can generate less power. So there must be actually in terms of the choosing wind turbine for a wind farm, for a location, we have to consider. As you can see, this one was good. 1.5 megawatt wind turbine was very good for a low wind speed, but not as good as it was before. And I want to show you one more example for the different average wind speed. It's a one single wind turbine of 1.5 megawatt. That's I was showing you before. And this 1.5 megawatt has a rated wind speed of 12. It means when a wind speed is 12 meters per second, this wind turbine can generate 1.5 megawatts of power. And as you can see, as the annual wind speed is increasing, the generation or the capacity factor is increasing, and the cost is going down. This is the ideal for wind farm developer, wind farm investor, that to try to find the suitable size location and appropriate the suitable wind wind turbine. One more example, as the last example I want actually to show you is another wind turbine with 2.5 megawatts, and this assume that this is installed where a place, a site that has a 8 meter per second is annual average of wind speed, and rated wind speed is between 10 and 15. I want to show you that how important is, to look at the rated wind speed of wind turbine. I'll give you I show you with this example. This is actually what I have produced by using a MATLAB program. And what the one in green, it shows actually the when wind speed is 8 meter per second for our location, can be anywhere. This would be the number of hours per year of that particular location that the wind speed was 1, 2, 4, 3, 4 until 25. Yeah, and the one on the right hand side and blue color one is actually what is known as power curve. And this is what actually manufacturers they give us. And for example, this is manufacturers of this 2.5 megawatt wind turbine said rated wind speed is 15. Now, and this red color one, this shows annual energy production. And I have on table below, I have written the numerical value of that. And interesting is the last one, this curve, the curve number or the figure number 4. The red color is the probability. Yeah, probability from 0 to 0.12. If you multiply this probability by number of hours in 1 year, we will get the green color. Yeah, but that's the only difference. And the blue one is the power curve that is actually given by manufacturer. Now, I have actually in order to show you the important effect of the rated wind speed, I have done I have performed this calculation for 5 different rated wind speed, and I want you to show to look at this corner of the curve, blue curve, and the top of this red curve here. Yeah, as I decrease the rated wind speed, they become closer. Yeah, they become closer, and this green color becomes bigger. It means more power is generated, and it's a little bit further and making a smaller rated wind speed. The gap becomes smaller, and the energy produced or generated is become bigger. And this is actually for something about 13 meter per second. If I decrease it to 12, it's become even, the gap becomes closer and energy becomes bigger. And as a result, the capacity factor or the performance of the wind turbine becomes better and better. And you can actually see for the 11 or 10 the gap is very small. And so the energy is at the highest. So the lesson we can actually get from this is, when we look at the wind turbine, specification of wind turbine and the location, the red one is to represent the location. The blue color curve represents the wind turbine performance. The closer they are, these 2 points, the pitch point, they actually perform better. And as a final slide, I have done similar calculation and analysis for one of the places in Morocco. And I don't know if I'm not sure if I am pronouncing properly. Is Soveira, something like this. That actually is according to the investigation or research I did, this location is a good location in Morocco for using wind energy, and is about 7.5 annual average, something about 7.5 meter per second. And so if that particular wind turbine of 2.5 megawatts is selected for this site, now the best actually would be the rated wind speed that would be a smallest, which is a 10, which gives actually the highest energy production per year and the highest capacity. The wind turbine with the bigger or larger rated wind speed is chosen, the amount of energy produced per year, annual energy becomes smaller. As a result, the capacity factor becomes smaller, and cost will be small. Cost will be bigger. So it just, again, I mentioned this is just installation cost, and for this is for the same place, same similar wind turbine for different rated wind speed. As you can see, as we as we the wind rated wind speed is increasing, the capacity factor is decreasing, and the price is going up. Yeah, and this one is, again, capacity factor is decreasing and the price is going up. This is just one I wanted actually to conclude with this example from Morocco, and I hope that I was able to offer something useful for you. I'm happy to answer any question if there is any.